On November 18, 2012, Cary Huang, one of the creators of BFDI, uploaded a video on his YouTube channel called Algicosathlon Day 1. In the video, he explained that there will be 16 stick figures, or what he called athletes in his project, who will go through many Olympic-like events in a program called Algicosathlon, and will get points depending on their performance in the event they performed in. The better they did, the more points they've got. At the end of an event, the person who got the fewest points overall will be eliminated and can no longer participate in his project. This process was repeated until only one person was left, and the person wins the game. This show has inspired thousands of other people to make their own version of this concept, and the people who make these shows are referred to as Algicosathlons, which is a term you'll hear a lot in this video. This one series has since turned into a community which is 10 years old now, and, as all things, this long time period has brought many mysteries and theories with it. So in this video, I will go through the Algicosathlon iceberg, where I will cover those theories and mysteries. If you don't know how an iceberg works, I will go through this picture and explain every entry that's on it, and make my way down. I want to thank Jezoy Sauce and Spartan for the inspiration. I will also put Roblox gameplay in the background while I explain the iceberg, so without further ado, let's dive in. Race to the Bowl. Race to the Bowl is an event that happens in most Algicosathlons that you see. In this event, the athletes go through a course like the one on screen and have to try to get in a bowl to finish the event. Since this event usually happens on the first day, the last one to make it is automatically out of the game. It is very rare to see an Algicosathlon that doesn't do RTTB as the first event, especially nowadays. Marble races. Marble races are videos where a number of marbles are shown before they race down a course, and you have to pick who you want to win. Algicosathlon marble races were introduced by Algicosathlon, and turns out they actually existed before our community, coming out a month earlier than Cary's Algicosathlon. Although marble races of this kind today are dominated by one person, and that one person is Mikan. Mikan is an Algicosathlon who is mainly known for marble races, as we just discussed. He also has the most subscribers out of any Algicosathlon today, having over 800,000 of them around the time I'm writing this video. It's also worth noting that this number will quickly be outdated as Mikan is growing ridiculously fast. Renato Saez is an Algicosathlon who used to be hated in the community for giving people death threats. He also ranked events in his Algicosathlon to make blue win, as it is his favorite color, and he once copied the username of Alvin's Algicosathlon, and for a bit of time called his channel Renato's Algicosathlon. Wow. I don't think he gives death threats to people anymore, but if he does, let me know in the comments. Ships. Ships mean some form of romantic relations between certain characters in a show. Most of, if not all, well-known ships in the Algicosathlon community are in one person's Algicosathlon, Not Scottish, who we'll talk about more in a bit. A famous example of a ship is Blyan in Not Scottish's Algicosathlon, where people ship blue and cyan. 100 Lives. 100 Lives was a series created by Minecraft Iron Axe on June 28, 2017. The series is currently on Season 3 at the time this video is being written. The way this show works is that there will be a number of marbles who start at 100 points who go through events, and will get points depending on their performance. If they do good, they get points. But if they do bad, they lose points, and if an athlete reaches 0 points or below, then they are out instead of being out if they are last on the leaderboard. There have been more personalized versions of this concept, but the original one still stands legendary today. Algicosathlons. There isn't much to say about this one. These are pretty much the same thing as an Algicosathlon, except there are more athletes and more events. These are mainly called the second season of an Algicosathlon. Discord servers. I think you know what these are, but I will explain this anyway. Discord is a social media platform in which you can make servers to talk to your friends, and Algicosathlons make these servers. Not Scottish's and Caden's Discord server are some examples of Discord servers made by Algicosathlons. The analytic problem. The analytic problem has been a problem in the community for a few years now, where people just skip over the events of Algicosathlon episodes and go straight to see the results to see who's eliminated. I understand that watching athletes bounce around for 10 minutes is boring and a waste of time, but you have to stop this problem, as you're just wasting the creator's effort in the video. So please, fan Algicosathlons. Fan Algicosathlon are Algicosathlons in which the creator creates a sign-up video, and the viewer signs up in the video as a color they're given, and becomes a character in the game the creator hosts. Other than that, it's basically the same thing as a regular Algicosathlon. I couldn't find the first ever fan Algicosathlon. The oldest one I could find was Star Mappings made in 2020, but if you know what the actual oldest one is, then let me know. Colors. This doesn't mean much. This is just referring to the athletes that participate in these shows. And that's all. Not Scottish. I've mentioned Not Scottish a few times in this video already, so it's about time you know who he is. Not Scottish used to be a famous and beloved Algituber. His channel was made on the 14th of January 2020, and his Algicosathlon started in July 4th of the same year he joined YouTube. Although his popularity has died down a bit, he left the Algicosathlon community after the finale of the second season of his show too. Processing.org is a program that is used to make leaderboards for Algicosathlons. The leaderboards that are made using Processing.org look like this, and it's actually very common in Algicosathlons that you see, mostly because it's free, and it looks kinda cool. The program also has a browser version that is also free, so you can use that too if you're worried if it will get you a virus, which it won't, obviously. Borderlay, just like Renato, Borderlay used to be hated by our community, but he has a lot more reasons as to why he was hated. He used to spam the Valor image over and over again and used to insult people and discriminate against furries, but people are neutral with him now, so yeah. Doc671 Doc671 used to be a respected Algituber who made creative series like Marble Side, Gadget Car Triathlon and Portal Marble Races. Unfortunately, his channel was hacked and terminated back in March. But thankfully people have re-uploaded his content. Before his YouTube was deleted though, he had around 12,000 subscribers, which is very high for an Algituber. Photo ID meme. Photo ID meme was a meme made by the Algituber Sunny Foxy, and it had a pretty negative reputation in the community, mainly because of the immense amount of cringe content that was in the video. Back in January, Sunny said that she will remake the meme, but the remake is still not out today. Pixel Pig. Pixel Pig is a song made by Die Young, which is a pretty well-known and recognizable tune in the Algicosathlon community, and it was used in a couple intros. Here's what it sounds like. Corrupted Black. In Not Scottish's Algicosathlon, one of the athletes is named Black. Black actually has two sides, his innocent one named just Black, and the other side is the evil side of Black, that is Corrupted Black. Corrupted Black is also the main antagonist in the Algicosathlon. Dancing 18. Dancing 18, or now known as Music Hoopy, used to be a famous Algituber who has over 5,000 subscribers on his old channel. His Algicosathlon was also popular, getting tens of thousands of views. But unfortunately, he left the community a long time ago. Now he posts Poemon content on his current channel, Kaden Animates. Kaden Animates is an Algituber who is very recognizable in the Algicosathlon community, and among some of the most infamous. The reason he is infamous today is because of the cringe that's in his content. Algicosathlon Mega Intro. On December 7, 2021, an Algituber who goes by the name Prospation Productions uploaded an intro for his Algicosathlon named Algicosathlon Mega. The thing that makes the video interesting is that the video somehow got over 500k views, which is a good chunk more than the first episode of Burger Brawl, which has 300k views, whereas his second most viewed video only has 17k. Now how this video got to this much fame is not really clear. Lava and eliminations. This entry is referring to the form of eliminations that happened in old Algicosathlons, where the athletes will be sunk into lava when they are eliminated. Lava and eliminations actually still happens today, which kind of shocked me when I found out about it. That's about all I have to say about this one. Yeah. Eric Facet. I know this should be higher on the iceberg, but Eric Facet was one of the first ever people to join the Algicosathlon community, starting his Algicosathlon in August 2014. And he is actually still here after these 8 years, posting his latest video about Algidu just 2 months ago. His Algicosathlon is also one of the most viewed too. Algicosathlon tutorials. This is kind of self-explanatory. This refers to the tutorials that people make of an Algicosathlon. This is actually pretty popular right now, and people have made tutorials on how to make athletes, make RTTB courses, BMX courses, and more stuff. PLMP, Purple Lavender Magenta Pink Rose, or PLMP, as they're more commonly known by, was hated by the EAC. The reason for her hatred was that she harassed Waitwat for eliminating Lavender in his Algicosathlon. Another reason she was hated is because she bypassed servers she was banned from. Meteor's streams. A user who goes by the name Mr. Meteor 2604 makes streams on YouTube of him reacting to certain Algicosathlon content, like Kaden and Renato, both of which I have already talked about earlier in this video. Not too much to say. Cancelled rejoin. On the 12th day of Cary's Algicosathlon, he mentioned that there will be a rejoin in the show the next episode, but when the next episode arrived, he said that there will be 2 athletes in the finale, and it was too late for a rejoin now, so that's why he cancelled the rejoin. According to the wiki, however, Blue and Tan would have rejoined. Cary also said that they could still win Algicosathlon. And a 3rd season never happened. Wait, a 3rd season? Yes, because there was a season before Algicosathlon, which was the 2nd season. The first one was Algicosathlons. Yeah, I lied about Algicosathlon being the beginning of the community. It is actually Algicosathlon that started the 10-year-long journey, starting in August 2012. Just like how Algicosathlons are the bigger version of an Algicosathlon, Algicosathlons are the smaller version of it, having less athletes and events. These actually happened today, which is kinda cool. Who Broke It? Who Broke It was a pretty popular short back in 2020 and 2021. Many well-known people from the community such as Wait What, Caden, Sebastianmania, and even Not Scottish have made one of these with their Algicosathlon cast, but after the sudden boom, the short just faded to obscurity. Octobosathlon is a series started by MapJumpkle in mid-2017. The series had a pretty interesting concept in that the athletes had to fight each other while reaching a certain goal. Once that goal was reached, the athletes had to fight a boss which was white in color. If an athlete was defeated, they lost points, but if an athlete did manage to defeat the boss, they could continue with the next boss. It wasn't really the most popular side series in the Algicosathlon community, but it's still fun to think about. Cupid's Revenge. This case is kinda similar to Pixel Pig. It is a song made by Kevin MacLeod. It was also used in a couple old Algicosathlons on their first episode. Here is what it sounds like. Collab Algicosathlons. Collab Algicosathlons are Algicosathlons where 2 Algitubers collaborate together to make it. There aren't many examples of this genre, but the most well-known seems to be Cushutter and Caden's Collab Algicosathlon. Okay, how many times have I mentioned Caden already? Newfieldboy is an Algituber who used to make cringy content. As a joke, of course. His channel blew up by some Ooga Booga video. I don't really remember what it was called, although all of his old videos have been deleted, and he also moved channels. His new channel is called Immortal Fruit, Green and Tan's Wedding. This one is sort of interesting. In early 2021, Not Scottish uploaded a video on his 2nd channel titled Green and Tan Wedding. The video seems to be, well, a wedding of 2 of Not Scottish's characters, which seems to be related to the Grand Ship, another ship that happened in this guy's Algicosathlon. Now, obviously, and thankfully this skit wasn't canon to his main series, but think of how absurd it would have been if it actually was. Mercy Zero. Mercy Zero used to be a pretty well-known person in the EAC, having 5,000 subscribers, and all of his Algicosathlon episodes got over 100,000 views except for episode 7. He also had sound effects in his Algicosathlon, which freaked me out when I was younger. His channel went on a year-long hiatus back in 2019, uploaded like 3 videos, and now is going on an even longer hiatus, with his last video coming out in 2020. Algicosathlon. Algicosathlon was a series made by someone named Aidan Bush in June 2018. It seemed to be a regular Algicosathlon, except for the fact that there were a whopping 74 athletes, which is more than BFB pre-split. However, the show has seemingly been cancelled, as the last episode was in late 2018. Also, the skits were in 1:1 ratio, and it used BFB soundtrack as music. Magenta Virus. Now I don't have too much information on what it was, but I'll explain the info I did manage to get. Magenta Virus started on the first episode of Jack Sparrow's Algicosathlon, in which Magenta was taking too long to finish the first event. Jack was mad and provided Magenta with the curse, although I don't know what the curse was. The athletes that were affected in Jack's Algicosathlon were Lime, Red and Lavender. Also, this isn't part of the entry, but when I was searching for his Algicosathlon, I found out that 6 of the 20 episodes were hidden for some reason. Luke Jokovic isn't too special. His channel has around 5,000 subscribers, and his Algicosathlon is the 2nd ever to exist, starting in late 2013. He hasn't uploaded since 2017 though, so that's something. Minecraft Algicosathlons. This entry is kind of self-explanatory. Algicosathlons that happen in Minecraft instead of Algidu. In these type of Algicosathlons, the athletes are sheep, and they go through courses made in Minecraft. The most well-known MA seems to be Star Mapping's Minecraft Algicosathlon as well as Purple Stickman's Wolf Games, both of which seem to be cancelled now. Algicosathlons that don't happen in Algidoo. This one goes well with the last entry, as these don't take place in Algidoo either. Most of these Algicosathlons happen in either PowerPoint or any other presentation software, like Google Slides and Keynote. ColoradoVista by Mary Albrasa Productions is a good example beginning in late 2014. Tier lists. This entry is talking about tier lists people make for well-known Algicosathlons. These get very little views and that's all there is to say. Algibox. Algibox is a platform where people can share maps and other creations that they make in Algidoo. This platform is commonly used for people copying other people's events to put in their own Algicosathlon. The people that do this most likely don't have good knowledge on making courses for events in Algidoo. Olive's elimination. I don't know if this is interesting, but it is controversial. On the 9th episode of Cary's Algicosathlon, he said that the viewers can vote for someone to be eliminated from the Algicosathlon for some reason. Then in day 10 he eliminated Olive, as he was at the bottom of the leaderboard, and he got the most votes in the day 9 voting, even though he shouldn't have been, considering it was a team event that he got last in. This caused a lot of controversy surrounding whether the character should have been out or not. Oh yeah, Olive also got a gumdrop in the finale to make up for his unfair elimination. Lost Algicosathlons. This entry is talking about Algicosathlons that are simply lost media. Lost media means media that no longer exists or is missing. I don't remember any Algicosathlons that are lost today, but I still thought of including this entry here. Fun. Fun is the beta version of Algidoo, also launching in early 2009 just like the modern-day version. Nobody seems to use this program anymore though. Teal's programmer. In the second season of Not Scottish's Algicosathlon, there's Teal. She's actually a robot. Nobody knew who programmed Teal until NS's Marble Q&A, where it's revealed that Lime was the one that made Teal's body, and when the hosts needed a 26th athlete, they added emotions into her. Also breaking the fourth wall, I assume. Tauhu Algicosathlon. Algicosathlon 4 or Tauhu Algicosathlon is the 4th season of UKTM's Algicosathlon. The weird thing about this Algicosathlon is that this season has 200 athletes. Yes, 200. That's why it's on this iceberg in the first place, because of its athlete count. But there's somehow still an Algicosathlon that beated this record. Algathon M, a series made by Oxylogy in 2021. Algathon M is a project that Oxylogy claims could be his biggest project, and one that I don't think anyone can beat. The show has, wait for it, 1,001 athletes. 1,001, that's not a joke. And it's a regular Algicosathlon other than that too. I can only think about making a series this big and how much of a pain it can be. BFAMP. BFAMP, or standing for Battle for a Mystery Prize, was made by A and Rainbow Block in either 2020 or 2021. I don't really remember. Back when this show was made, people confused it for a camp as users made the characters, but Ayan and his friends claimed it wasn't. This show can be called lost media considering there is barely any footage left of the show. Which Algicosathlon athlete are you? Now, this isn't as obscure as you may think it is. This was a video made by someone named Maki Kabangan. It asked you certain questions and told you an athlete you could be by your total results. For some reason though, Maki got rid of the video sometime this year. Algicosathlon. Another show made by Jack Spiro. Algicosathlon was the second season of his Algicosathlon. The season had 5 episodes, one of which is hidden, before seeming cancellation. All Algicosathlons happen in the same universe. For our last entry of this iceberg, we have a theory saying that all Algicosathlons that are made by people in the community happen in the same universe. Now, no one really talks about this theory, mainly because I put this here to decorate the iceberg, but who knows, maybe it could be proved correct. Phew, that was a lot to cover, but hey, we officially uncovered the Algicosathlon iceberg. Now, once again, I want to thank Jezoy Sauce's Lost Object Shows video and Spartan Dash's BFDI Icebergs for inspiring me to remake this iceberg video. Also, I want to say that my channel is officially a year old now, which is kind of cool. I will also put the links of the inspirations and other iceberg topics in the description. So anyway, adios.